Well, as cases of COVID-19 begin to rise again, a large percentage of Michiganders remains unvaccinated. And now a new survey from the University of Michigan is showing that some of the reasons for that hesitation. And the survey focused on unvaccinated Detroiters, and it found that trust, not access, is the main factor keeping Detroiters from getting vaccinated. And this comes as the latest information from the state health department shows less than 40% of eligible Detroiters have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and that's compared to 57% of all Michiganders. Vaccine rates are better in outer Wayne County, where around 64% of people have received at least one shot. Macomb County's vaccination rate is about 56%, and in Oakland County, 67% of people are at least partially vaccinated. 7 Action News reporter Rhett Cass takes a deeper dive into the U of M study.
Well, in this survey, people reported a whole number of reasons for not getting the COVID vaccine, but the most common was fears over the vaccine's safety. In the months since the COVID vaccine became widely available, vaccinations have slowed nearly every week, going from a peak of 680,000 doses a week in mid-April to just shy of 60,000 doses last week. One of those doses went to Ethan Shaw.
It was a wait and see. You know, you just see how it was going to go at first.
After a few months of waiting, Shaw says pressure from family and the surging Delta variant convinced him that now was the time.
As my father was preaching to me about it at 6 in the morning for some strange reason, yeah, that day I was like, you know what, that's it. I won't do it again. And my wife, she pushed me to, so we went and got the shot.
There is a lot of hesitancy as opposed to rejection to the vaccine.
Beaumont family physician Dr. Asha Shahjahan says Shaw is like a lot of her patients waiting to make their decision.
They just want to make sure that it's safe, and they want to make sure they're making the right decision for themselves and their families.
Currently, more than 40% of Michiganders over age 12 are still unvaccinated, and in the city of Detroit, that number is more than 60%. According to a recent survey from the University of Michigan, roughly 80% of those unvaccinated Detroiters are concerned about the vaccine's safety.
I like to have conversations where it's more open, and it's like, tell me why. Tell me why. What are your concerns? Let's address them one at a time.
According to the CDC, 99.5% of Americans who died of COVID in the last 6 months were unvaccinated. As the Delta variant spreads, Dr. Shahjahan says these conversations with patients and with loved ones are more important than ever.
And not pressuring people to feel like it's something that they absolutely have to make a decision on right this minute. But the sooner, the better. We don't want to linger on it too long.
I'd say, do what I do. Take your time and do your research and pray. That's all we can do.
Now, another interesting finding of that University of Michigan survey is that 1 in 3 Detroiters who reported before March that they were unlikely to get vaccinated have since gotten at least one dose of the vaccine. Reporting for 7 Action News, I'm Brett Cast.
Looking for help for Michigan's expressways, the head of MDOT went to Washington, D.C. for help as the department deals with major issues that have led to recent freeway shutdowns. Director Paul Ashba talked with federal leaders about the I-94 flooding last June with vehicles stranded on the expressways, and he says pumps failed because there were no generators to keep them going when the power went out. And he says any solutions will be costly, but he's looking to partner with a university or a consultant to plan repairs in phases.
I used the opportunity to talk to them about the need for us to get this $50 million to put generators at each of these pump stations as a short-term fix while we work on the long-term solution.
Paul Ashba also says last week's tanker fire on I-75 near Big Beaver is going to be a major project and will involve not only fixing the pavement, but also removing fuel from the soil and cleaning the drainage system. And it'll be a major project.
And the severe weather threat, it is there. It is present for the weekend tomorrow. Today, it's just going to be a spotty shower in a couple of spots throughout the day, maybe a little more substantial in a couple of hours, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But the summer heat returns, and with the heat humidity building tomorrow, the chance for storms as well. Looking at the radar right now on the east side where we are, things are pretty quiet. We're noticing a few spotty showers around Ann Arbor, Plymouth to Canton, Dearborn Heights, and then up toward Mount Clemens. Not a big deal by any means. More substantial storms certainly developing back toward Grand Rapids. So the track is off to the south and east. Certainly may clip areas like western Washtenaw into Lenawee County and then parts of Jackson County over the next several hours. So it's going to take a little time to arrive, but the further east you are, the drier overall you're going to be through the morning hours. 67 degrees downtown, 66 in Pontiac right now. It is 66 degrees also in Howell. Our hourly forecast takes us through the 60s, pretty steady though through the morning hours in the mid 60s, upper 60s to near 70 by 10 o'clock. And you can see the cooler air right now over the Great Lakes, but the warm front back to the west starting to boost temperatures. And that's what we'll see here in the coming days. Our temperatures up, not necessarily today. Humidity is going to be up today, but tomorrow we'll notice more heat. We get to the afternoon and our dew points back into the 60s, up from the 50s that we've seen the past couple of days. And look at tomorrow. Tomorrow is just going to be very muggy. So we look at our hour by hour forecast, and there are those storms out of Grand Rapids. So Jackson to Adrian, western Washtenaw County, we'll watch it a little bit further west. And then a spotty shower here and there through the afternoon, certainly not a big deal. The morning tomorrow, this is about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Showers and storms come through. Depending on how we recover, the atmosphere recovers from that batch, could see these strong storms develop for the afternoon and evening on Saturday. That's something that we'll have to be watching closely. We are in now a slight risk, so upgraded from a marginal from yesterday. 84 tomorrow, pushing 90 on Sunday and Monday, so the heat is back on.